Hey, what's up? My name's Ercy, and welcome back to Circe'sBooked. I've been seeing online, or at least on BookTube, everyone's giving out their list of summer reading recommendations, and I decided I wanted to give you one of my own. I have a big mix of books here. Just looking down at my big pile of books, I got some romance, I got some mystery, I got some thrillers, I got manga, I got some YA, I got some literary historical fiction with some magic realism, and I got some fantasy. I'm a little all over the place, but it's pretty reflective of my reading taste. I don't necessarily stick to one genre. I like to mix it up a little bit just so that way I don't get bored, or that way I feel like I'm reading diversely. But anyways, when it comes to summer reading, I try to think of things that are fun, a little lighthearted, or even sometimes depending on the mood, I just want like one book for the whole summer, because we're doing a ton of stuff in the summer. We're going to the beach, going to the pool, doing the most. So especially this year with everything opening up again, my family and I do plan on taking advantage of just going out and spending some quality time, being that we're all vaccinated and stuff. So aside from the little one, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so let me stop rambling and let me give you my list of summer reads. So let's say you want some romance. And I'm very new to romance. I was never one to pick up romance books until I started watching BookTube. And I've discovered some gems. And I'm sure these are books that you've all heard about before. But the first ones on my list are the Brown Sister books by Talia Hibbert. The first one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. The second one is Take a Hint, Dani Brown. And I'm almost done with this one. This is the one I'm currently reading. And the third one is Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I haven't gotten to this one yet, but from what I've heard, it's got the same kind of vibes as the other two. These are fun books because they're pretty lighthearted, low stakes romances that have its steamy bits, and they're pretty fun. So each book follows one of the sisters, and they find love and learn about themselves in a way that's funny, romantic, steamy, and it's just a good time. If you want a good book just to laugh and sit by the pool, you're reading something funny and cool, these are good options. So I'm gonna get to this one soon, but the other two I've had a good time. This one I gave 5 stars. I'm almost done with this one, so I can't give it a rating quite yet, but it's definitely either a 4 or 5 star book. So if that says something to you, you should pick it up. So anyways, so these are the Brown Sisters books by Talia Hibbert. You should definitely check them out. Next on my list is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Also another romance. She had just released another book, One Last Stop, I believe it's called. But if it's anything like this one, well, as far as like the writing style and all that good stuff, I'm definitely gonna probably enjoy this next one. I don't know when I'm gonna pick it up, but I'll pick it up soon. But this one I loved. I got 5 stars out of this one. This is amazing. This one follows the romance between the son of the first female president and the Prince of England. So again, another romance and LGBTQ plus romance, because we have 2 gay main characters. And we got a lot of politics in this one too. So not only is it fun, it's very smart and very hopeful. You know what I mean? We've got a lot going on as far as like tabloids, like tabloid culture, along, because we got 2 high profile people falling in love and stuff. And the scenes where they're in New York just brought me back to like my early 20s, just hanging out in the city with my friends before my husband and I moved away. It just brought me back, and I had a big smile on my face. The steamy bits were very steamy, but still a lot of, I shouldn't say but, and a lot of fun. So that's Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I definitely am going to be picking up One Last Stop pretty soon. I just got a lot of books on my list right now that I'm trying to get to, but that's definitely one that I look forward to. And it's probably a good summer read too, but I can't comment too much on it. I just know that from this book, it should be a good time. Let's move on to mystery / thriller. So the first one I'm going to mention is Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. I don't know. Jennifer Weiner, I did not know. She had like a ton of books. When I read this book, I listened to it as an audiobook. So I went to go to the library to go pick it out just for this list, just to kind of hold it up. But I saw that she has a really big selection of books, and I didn't know. So I definitely plan on picking up some of her other books. But from this author, this is the one that I've read so far, and this is Big Summer. This book, we follow a plus-size Instagram model main character. She's like an influencer, and she gets invited to be part of a wedding from an old friend from high school, and their friendship had like dissolved from back then, and then things happen, right? A lot of mystery, a lot of self-discovery, a lot of growth, a lot of coming into yourself and building upon the confidence that you have, along with catching a killer, you know? So it was a good time. I was pleasantly surprised by this book. Again, not a book that I was very much into as far as the genre. I don't usually pick up a lot of mystery thriller books, but this one was a good time. It definitely a good summer read because it takes place in the summer. It takes place on the beach. You got a lot of, you know, those beachy summer vibes and stuff. So if you're looking for a good read for the summer, this is a good one. So you should definitely check it out. So that's Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. Okay. The next book I want to talk about is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. So I know a lot of people make fun of these books. I have a good time with these books. I like these books. The Dan Brown Robert Langdon series follows Robert Langdon as he's solving or helping solve murders because he's a cryptologist. He analyzes symbols and their historical meanings and stuff like that. So the reason why I have this one on this list is due in part to the setting. This book takes place, the majority of the book takes place in Vatican City. So when I went to go visit Vatican City in person, it's very open. You're traveling throughout Rome, and you're getting to see all of these beautiful historical monuments and things from the past. And I just think like when I think of Rome and the Vatican City, I think of summer and how bright and airy and beautiful it is. And you know, you travel a lot during the summer, so why not, right? So this book follows Robert Langdon. He's a cryptologist from Harvard, and he is called upon to help solve the mystery of the murder of a very renowned physicist. It's very fast-paced, lots of twists and turns and all that good stuff. All that good stuff that makes a summer read pretty fun. So that's Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. I highly recommend this book. I give this one 5 stars. I think it's so good. I've read this like 3 times already, and each time I learn new things, and I have amazing times reading these books. So I highly recommend if you're looking for a good thriller. So this next one is a thriller, but it's a little different. So this one is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. And this one follows 2 sisters. It's actually in the perspective of one of the sisters as she's dealing with her sister who's a serial killer. She kills her boyfriends, and she has her sister kind of cover it up. It either takes place in Nigeria or Ghana. I'll put a thing saying where it is. But anyways, we follow Kohei as she's a nurse, and she helps her sister Ayula cover up her crimes because she's always killing her boyfriends and stuff. So of course she doesn't approve, but you know, love for her sister kind of conquers her rational thinking, until Ayula sets her sights on the doctor from the hospital that Kohei works at. And she's not about to have it. So things just kind of go on from there. We get a really good glimpse into the culture of of where they live, because not only do we see things from the sister's point of view, we see how the medical system works. We sort of see how the environment in the area where they live, like their interactions with the police. We go into a lot of deep dives with their relationship with their father and their mother, and the relationship between them, the two sisters as well, because, you know, the sister is Ayula, she's like a sociopath, and we got Corday dealing with that, and how she's trying to like navigate how to be a good sister while being a good citizen, right? It's fun, it's short. You definitely won't be disappointed with this one. I really love this book. So that's My Sister, the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. So check this one out if you can. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's do some manga. And now the only manga, I'm very new to manga, but my experience with these books is that they're very short and fun reads. So I think that's sort of something that would be good for the summer, because, you know, you could probably devour one of these books in a sitting or two, because they're just fun. So the ones that I have and have been reading are the My Hero Academia books by Kohei Horikoshi. And I have the first three volumes. I'm definitely gonna be getting more of these soon. I just have a lot of books I gotta read that I own. But anyways, that's a good problem to have, right? So this book follows our main character, Izuku Midoriya. He's a person who doesn't have superpowers in a world where the majority of the population do have powers. And his dream in life is to be a superhero like his idol, All Might. And in the first volume, he winds up, you know, coming into getting powers. And then the rest of the series kind of goes on from there as he's accepted into this Hero Academy school, and his journey with learning about how to control his powers, and along with getting to know a lot of the other people, like his classmates and stuff. So these books are a really good time. I mean, if you don't want to watch it, if you don't want to read them, you can also watch the show. I think it's on Hulu. We've already watched all the dubbed episodes so far, but it's still fun to read the mangas, so that's what I'm doing. So if you're looking for a good manga, these won't disappoint you at all. They're pretty fun, short reads, perfect for reading in the summer, and they're just a good time. So check these out if you are into manga. Let's get into the YA pick that I have. This one was all the rage last year, and this is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Now, this one is a book written in verse, but it still reads like a novel. So, if anything, it's just very lyrical, beautifully written, and you have the story between two sisters. You have Camino and Yahaira. So, Camino is a sister that lives in the Dominican Republic, and Yahaira is a sister that lives in New York City. And they don't know about each other until tragedy strikes. The plane carrying their father, their shared father, crashes. He dies, and that's when they're both dealing with the loss of their father. The reason why I choose this one for this list is more personal for me. Growing up, my father used to take us to the Dominican Republic for our summer vacations. So anything that has to deal with the Dominican Republic just kind of always reminds me of summer, because that's usually when I'm over there visiting family and stuff. So, and of course it's an island in the Caribbean, you know, beautiful beaches, all that good stuff. But anyway, so Clap When You Land is a story between these two sisters and how they wind up coming to know each other and the feelings that they have towards one another due to the way that the father kept them separate. So obviously we have a father having like this double life. The sisters have to sort of deal with that after his death. So it's a very beautiful read. Highly recommend this one. Even if you're not into YA, like young adult books, I feel like this is just a good book for everyone to read. I had a really good time reading this. Again, I thought it was beautiful. If you're into audiobooks, the narrator of this book is the author, Elizabeth Acevedo. I think she used to do spoken word poetry, so she can really deliver. So I would definitely recommend listening to this. So that's Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Okay, so the next three books I'm going to give you, they're kind of all historical fiction, fantasy, magic realism type books, and they're all amazing reads. You know, a lot of the books that I gave you already on this list, they're kind of shorter reads or fast-paced reads. The next three books are books that I really recommend you taking your time with and just kind of diving deep into the language behind these books and the messages they're trying to portray. So you want to take your time. Maybe you just want one book for the summer, but like a really good book. You know what I'm saying? Like a book that's like you can talk about it with people. I mean, you can talk about any of these books with people, but you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna read these books and come out feeling like I know a little more. You know? It's so stupid, but anyways. I don't know where I got that from. But anyways, so the first one I'm going to talk about is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Now, this is a Nobel Prize winning book, okay? We are following the Buendia family throughout time. Okay, we got multiple generations in this one book. We see sort of a lot of history woven in through the eyes of the people of this family. Obviously, this is going to take place in Latin America. Gabriel Garcia Marquez is a Colombian author, and this book is just amazing. You want to take your time with this book. I really feel like this is one of those books that everyone should read if you're interested in Latin American history, or even just, I'm going to keep it at that, Latin American history, because it's South America, right? So... So anyways, I really feel like this is a beautiful book. The writing is gorgeous. Even the translation is really good. This one was translated from the Spanish by Gregory Rabasa. It was a really good translation, and even the original in the Spanish is very beautifully written. If you can read in Spanish, it's really well worth the time that this book requires. I really feel like anyone coming out of reading this book will not be disappointed just because of how beautiful it is. And it's hard to really say what it's about because each generation of the family is dealing with something a little different, but obviously it's all interwoven and interconnected and stuff like that. So this is just an epic. This is really good. Speaking of epics, let's go with a classic, like a real legit classic. And that's The Odyssey by Homer. I've read this quite a few times. I read this in high school for my humanities class. I've read this in my English literature classes. And I've also read this for my master's degree in humanities, right? So I've read this a few times. But each time that I read this, I always come out like learning something more. We follow Odysseus as he is leaving Troy after the Trojan War, and he is on his journey to his wife Persephone and their son. So funny thing, my camera battery died while I was in the middle of talking about the Odyssey, so I'm using my phone. So let's just keep going. I'll keep it short and sweet though. So the Odyssey, we have this epic tale where he is leaving Troy and on his journey home, and he's trying to get to his wife, but the gods are interfering, and so his journey takes about 20 years to get home to his wife. So again, we have an epic poem, fantasy, classic, so good. My husband loved this one too. He listened to the audiobook version of this. This is just a really good book. Definitely there are reasons why it's required reading in many academic settings, whether in high school or university and all that kind of stuff. Definitely well worth the read though, because if you come out of it, if you read this book thinking like, oh my god, this is required reading, like you're not gonna have a good time. You have to read it like you're reading any other book. It takes a little while to get used to the classic language, but again, I think that also has to deal with who you choose as a translator for this epic. takes getting used to the certain language of any book, right? Like the writing style of any author. You know, when you read a certain fantasy, it's different from when you pick up a romance, right? It takes a minute to kind of adjust, and then you'll get the words of what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, so if you're into that, and if you want to spend the time doing that, I really feel like the Odyssey is really well worth it. Along those lines, my last and final book to recommend to you is Ercy by Madeline Miller. Now, one of my friends is currently borrowing this book, so I only have the dust jacket. But that one follows Ercy, who is a demigod. And she actually has interactions with Odysseus, but it's cool because you get her side of the story in Ercy. And now this book is one that I also recommend kind of taking your time with, because we follow Ercy and her life journey from when she was with her family to when she's exiled, and her coming into her feminine powers and all that good stuff, right? So this is, again, one that I feel like you can take your time with, because it follows her throughout her life, into motherhood, into the different people that wind up visiting her on the island that she is, including Odysseus. So I really feel like this is a really good book, not only just because of the journey that she goes through. It's just a beautifully written book that I feel will not disappoint. I gave this book 5 stars. I feel like it's well worth the read, and just one that will not disappoint. Again, summer vibes for both of these, because you know, we have journey on the water and all that lovely water island adventures. So, yep. So anyways, those are all of my summer reading recommendations. If you read any of these books, let me know what you think. Or if you plan on reading any of these books, let me know what you think. Again, I loved all of these books, and I plan on talking about the books that I'm going to be reading this summer in future TBRs and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know what you think. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more. And I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!